here we are at Taguanao River, and today we are going to do some monitoring, particularly macroinvertebrate monitoring. And we are going to sample this specific riffle right here. But before anything else, let us begin with measuring the physical parameters. Let us start by measuring air temperature by hanging the thermometer on air with a thread and left for 10 minutes. For water temperature, the thermometer is submerged in the water for 10 minutes before it is acquired again for recording of the measurement. With the use of a meter ruler, we can then measure the depth of the sampling site. Do this at a regular interval to acquire the mean depth. The float method is used in measuring the water flow. A small empty bottle, tape measure, and stopwatch were the materials used in this exercise. The time for an object to travel on a set distance is recorded. Current water velocity refers to how fast the water is flowing. For other parameters such as dissolved oxygen, pH, and conductance, we take a water sample from the river and test it in the lab using multi-parameter probe. And don't forget to record data. During the sampling itself, we use proper safety equipment such as boots. We want to get protected when working in water. Also, we can't do monitoring without the net. We use the kick net. It is bigger compared to other standard nets, so we can catch several macros during kicking. Don't forget, sampling using kick nets require 2 individuals. Let's just call them the catcher and the kicker. And when kicking, make sure sampling is conducted from downstream to upstream by the riffle by placing the bottom of the net securely on the stream bed and obliquely away from the kicker. Use the foot or hand to dislodge organisms within an area no wider than the net. During this sampling particularly, this procedure was repeated 4 times to obtain more samples. Material collected from the riffle should be placed in a white container with river water. This material shall be coarse picked in the field to remove large sticks, rocks, and leaves. Inspect both the inside of the net carefully to make sure no organisms adhere to the surfaces. If there are, place them in a container as well. We then sort the contents of this container. I am having a hard time catching this macroinvertebrate. I will get back to him later. Transfer the sorted macros from the container to another container filled with 95% alcohol for preservation and identification. The rest of this debris is put in a separate container for thorough inspection later on in the lab. Now it's time to identify the macros. We do this by comparing them to various taxonomies. The more, the better, to be accurate. I personally use the identification of freshwater invertebrates of the Mekong River and its tributaries, due to its comprehensive and detailed photos and descriptions of the macros. Here are some macroinvertebrates that we identified down to family.